Every second breath we take comes from the ocean, right? So it's good if we want to breathe.
Carl, thank you so much for joining Gustaf TV. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. We always talk about absolutely fascinating topics, and we're going to talk about another one today. So we're going to focus a lot on creating large marine protected areas. The Cook Islands has just announced a huge marine protected area. Could you tell us a little bit more about it?
Yes, great to be back. Well, it's really exciting news. So Cook Islands, for those of you who don't know, it is in the middle of the Pacific. It's a gorgeous set of islands, fantastic, nice people out there. So over the last few years, they worked very hard on creating a large new marine protected area. In fact, it's the size of Mexico, for those of you who sort of need a reference point. And it's one of those things that really has been a cultural journey, I think, for the whole society. So there's been lots of discussions in the villages with the traditional users and owners of the resource. And they've now created something that they're very proud of. And rightfully so. I mean, this is actually the largest area under protection that we have on the planet right now. Now, the exciting thing about it is it's not just Cook Islands. A number of other countries have done it. So last year, the US president outgoing declared the Papahanaumokuakea, Western Hawaiian Islands, which is also a very, very large area. We also got the Ross Sea, which I think I've talked about in an earlier program here. So that's the size of France and Spain put together. So these are fantastically large parts of the planet. Now, the reason we're doing this, I think, is that people are waking up to the fact that there's a lot to be protected and there's a lot more work we need to do to get the oceans back in health.
So what are the benefits of marine protected areas opposed to?
So they can vary a lot. These large areas, of course, contain whole ecosystems, very functional parts of the planet. What we're seeing right now is that many of these areas are going down the drain. The reason might be many. Overfishing, climate shifts that are really changing the way, for example, corals live. Also, it can be related to degradation more locally in terms of pollution effects. We're putting a lot of plastic into the ocean. So lots of problems. Now, these can then be addressed through having more healthy ecosystems that are able to cope with this. We talk about resilience, the ability of a system to cope with these changes and actually be able to sort of survive and thrive despite all of these things, onslaughts that we're putting to them.
And something that usually pricks people's ears up, why are these MPAs good for business?
We're really, in many ways, every second breath we take comes from the ocean, right? So it's good if we want to breathe. But beyond that, I think for businesses, many of us like going out and visiting these areas. They're often fantastically beautiful. So the tourism industry is one of the biggest industries in the world, and they depend on a healthy environment to a large degree. Beyond that, I think if you have healthy ecosystems, you also get all the other services we are used to. Provide nutrition, getting various types of shipping and other things that are going on in the ocean. So if we destroy the oceans, it's going to be much, much harder to get these systems to be able to deliver what we depend on. And for business, it's obviously very important to have these systems in good shape. We can see countries that have degraded their ecosystems have a much, much harder time, certainly lose a lot of their tourism revenue, but they lose a lot of other things as well.
You've obviously been all around the world to all types of different marine protected areas. What's the biggest and the best one that you've been to?
Well, there's actually a very hard question. There's many places I love a lot. One that I was involved in was in the British Indian Ocean territories, where Diego Garcia is perhaps a place that some people know of, south of Maldives, in the middle heart of the Indian Ocean. And that, I think, is a spectacular place. Really, really beautiful, has lots of exciting things, manta rays, sharks, lots of exciting things. I love Aldabra in Seychelles also, which is the largest raced atoll in the world. Also a phenomenally important area for all kinds of things, including birds that can't fly and so on. In fact, this photo here is from Seychelles. They have a fantastic, thriving population of sea turtles. They've done a great job of restoring those. But also visiting Antarctica, I think, is another exciting part of the world, which I love a lot. So there's many of these places that I think are very important and close to my heart.
Amazing. Carl, I'm jealous as always speaking to you, but thank you so much for speaking with us and sharing your thoughts with us. And thank you for watching, and to find out more and to see other interviews with Carl, head over to dukascopy.tv.